I'm like, where do you want me to start? Because there's so many things that's happening right now. Okay, I'll start from there. Okay, so the information here right now is transitional times ahead, transitional time now, and transitional times as you move forward. So it's very much so as a collective of those on the planet right now that there are changes happening. Of course there are, you'll say, because look, we've coming out of the pandemic. Some of you went, are we? But different parts of the world, I'm looking at the map on the side here, are going to be coming out of this global pandemic that we've had. And it's going to make many changes. I keep saying this and I'll keep saying it again because I keep hearing it from my guides and my spiritual team, and this is what they want you to hear. Many changes, but what's also happening right now with the planets and how they're lining up, and we've just had our new moon on the 13th of March. This week, very transitional stage. Look, it doesn't matter where you are on the planet, there is a transitional stage, especially if you look at nature and what's coming up right now, the changes. Where we are in the UK right now, it's changing in the light factor. I say light factor seems to be very important, especially for nature. And also I want to say, because it's that waking up time, and how funny, waking up time, humans waking up as well at the same time, waking up in the sense of looking at life in a different way. That's what we mean by awakening, looking at life in a different way. You have gone through so much change over this last period of time, this year that you've had, and now coming to March now where we are, it's like there's more change ahead. Some of you will be like, oh no, God, I can't cope with that. But you're meant to be going through this change, and we know this. If we look at where we are, especially, where I am in the UK right now, we've got the spring coming in, very, very slowly coming in, and then you've got this blossom and this intensity of the pollen and everything else that's happening right now. A massive change. You know, all the insects, all the buzz coming out, the bumblebees, this is what they're showing me, I have to give it to you. So there's a massive change happening. Now, okay, what they're saying with the planets right now and all the changes is this is going to be a time of looking at and releasing what no longer serves you. And I've said this before and I shall say it again because they're making you aware that it's okay. It's okay. It's about triggers and things that are happening for each and every one of you at this time emotionally. What's happened, you know, especially over this period of time, this last year. It's now about this time in what's happening. What is making you feel frustrated? What is keeping you stuck? What is that frustration about? Transitional times. And when you look at what's keeping you stuck, whatever it is, the job, a career, work life, that balance, which that's going to shift for many of you, the work balance, relationships, where you might live, all those factors that help to create that safety, that foundation within your life are about to change. You're going to have those who've been constantly working and busy through this pandemic of the work that they've done. And it's like they're looking at now their life, this conscious collective of looking at how they've been living their life and how they want change, because they can't move forward in the same way. There'll be some that haven't been working, have been trying to fill their time. You'll have a lot of people going through lots of different emotional stages at this moment. But it's going to be that, okay, thank you. They just showed me this balance, like trying to get the balance. Okay, thank you. It's the scales, trying to get the balance in your life, weighing up those scales. It's about work-life balance. They just said work-life balance, okay? And so that is this whole thing of how it's going to make you start shifting things in your life. What it is that's causing you frustration, what it is that's holding you stagnant. It's now about this time to think about letting go, releasing and moving forward. Now, that's easier said than done. Because I know personally myself, for me to move forward into my new life, my dream, I've had to let go of a shitload of crap recently. Sorry, that's just how it is. And so by letting go of that, I've had to work on those particular sides of what's going on emotionally for me, and where I've been holding emotion in your body, because you hold emotion in your body. Your body is constantly talking to you. That's why they gave you a body. That's why you've got this vessel. You've got this vessel so this vessel can communicate back with you. But I'm just hearing humans are a bit slow at this communication business. There's this internal communication which is happening for each and every one of you, but it's really tuning into it. And that awakening again is just another word to sort of say, listen, tune in to what your body, what is it showing you, mental health wise, emotional wise, you know, where are those blockages? If it's money, relationships, career, where are you holding yourself back? Many of you are holding yourself back. Many of you are going for a frustration, a change. And also I want to say, when you go through this period of change, of feeling, you know, frustrated, and we know frustration can cause depression, loneliness, sadness, a lot of issues around that. But when you're going through that, it's really then your body saying you need to address it, have a little look at it. What's it showing you? What's it bringing up for you? You know, removing those blockages, removing those people, removing those old self-limiting beliefs, really important. But what also I want to hear as we move forward throughout the week, God, this feels like, but as we move forward throughout the week, as we get to the Spring Equinox on 20th of March and move forward, it's that real surge of energy of let's create those dreams. Let's look forward to where you want to be and where you want to go. And that's not going to happen on its own. With all the goodwill in the world of, you know, I've had some clients sort of saying to me over last week and coming up to, not today, but I'd say the weekend, I've had some clients sort of saying, well, I'm doing manifestation, but it's not working. Yeah, it's not just about putting it out there. You have to keep sort of maintaining your own vibrational energy. You have to keep also raising it up. And then the way by doing that is by, you know, whatever pleases you. For me, it's music. For me, it's going out in the nature and being around trees and everything else. Whatever it is that you need for you about keeping the energy up, by being aware of where you are, how you're feeling, that's the first thing. Because if when your energy drops and you feel really down in yourself, it's not to beat yourself up, it's just saying, right, this is how I'm feeling. Let's have a look at that. Let's unpack it, let's unfold it, what's happening, what's it showing me. Then sitting with it, what's it showing you? If it's about getting out of a relationship, then do something about it. If it's about getting out of a job and you want to move somewhere else, do that. If it's about, you know, having a complete change, have a look at what it is. That will show you what it is then you want to move into. And then when you know what you want to move into, then start that dreaming, that, you know, creating those where you want to go. It's this real energy shift now about where it is you want to go. What sort of life you want to have for you is really big at the moment. There's this real change now about creating the life that you want. Really, really important. And I also want to say it doesn't just happen by magic. It's going to happen by you wanting it to happen. But what steps will you take to make it happen? The energy coming forward is really about you knowing what steps you want to take in the sense of how you want your life to move forward. What is it? You want a new job? Well, sitting there on the sofa is not going to help you. You know, you're going to have to look how you do it. If you're thinking, say for instance, let's use, they're using, say for instance, you want to go on holiday. What do? You don't sit on the sofa and think, I want to go on holiday, but don't book it. Don't look at where you want to go. It's about you looking at where you want to go, what changes or what do you want to come forward, and then working with the energy stream and then being open to what happens for you, okay? On the planet right now, there's this major surge of like life force, this real feeling of those who are now awoken, which again just means wanting change in their life, can't have it the way it's been before because it's no longer serving them, and that's fine. This is what this global pandemic's been about this last year. It's about that big change in each and every one of us, and it's about then moving forward. It's about using that energy, the life force of the whole planet, of everyone who wants to make change. I really don't believe there is anyone on the planet right now that is saying to themselves, yeah, okay, I like it the way it is. I want my life to stay the same way as it's been the last year. I doubt it very much. If anything, it's really made people sort of wake up to the fact, what is it that you want? How do you want life to change? What's it showing you right now? That seems to be very important, the message they're saying. But as we move forward, and as a month is moving forward, they're really saying this energy, this drive, you're going to notice it in nature. There's going to be this massive shift. Now look, they just brought me the blossoms and the tree blossoms. We know, we get so excited in the UK when we have the tree blossoms and we're like all these pink lovely blossoms everywhere, and it really cheers everything up. And then we've got it for a couple of weeks, and suddenly we have a massive storm that just shakes the trees off and ends up as confetti. You know, we end up with maybe half an hour we've got full sunshine, and then the next half an hour we've got hail storms. And that's just how life is. And that's what's, you know, this is this spring, this is this March month. You're going to feel that moving forward and thinking, yeah, I'm on my way, everything's happening. The next minute you get sort of pushed back again. But again, it just means something needs to release and something needs to be let go of so that you can continue to move forward. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Also want to say this. Okay. So I had something happen to me, and sometimes I'm always a bit concerned, like, God, this is not the Anne show. But I know when it happens to me, and when I have a week full of clients that things have happened to them and it's very similar, then I'm like, I get the message, guys. I know this is what I'm supposed to be looking at and addressing for many people. I want to say that when you're moving out of a situation, whatever it is, home life, a job, a career, a relationship, whatever it is, you're going to have sometimes those setbacks. Sometimes you're going to get pulled back into a situation, or it's going to have triggers and it reminds you of those emotional things that you had forgotten, and then they come up. You know, I had something the other day that I'd forgotten what happened, and it came up, and it'd been 26 years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? And I got pulled back into it. But I then knew that this was my humanness. I knew this was like my, subconscious bringing it up to remind me of what was going on and bringing up all those raw feelings so that I could sit there and work with it. Now, I had about 3 nights where I just didn't sleep, and I had this trauma going over and over in my head, repeating. And literally, you know, I'm a therapist, I should know better, I say to myself, but hey, I'm human as well. And it was going on and on and on and on, and I couldn't sleep. And then something happened. It was in the middle of the night, and I don't know how people manage if they don't believe there are angels or their loved ones on the other side or the universe or divine is there. I don't know how they manage, but the human part of me was sitting there, I was going, oh my God, I can't breathe. I was having a panic attack in the middle of the night. I haven't had a panic attack in 20-something years. And I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. And I was like, I just need help. And I reached out and I just said, I just need some help. And literally, I just sat there. I'd spoken to a couple of people, you know, in this group about it already, who are close friends to me. And I just sat there and I was like, God, what do I do right now? And I was still panicking. I couldn't breathe. And then I heard this voice in my ear saying to me, just be present. Just be present. Be in the moment. And I was like, well, that's no good. What is that? What do you mean, be present, be in the moment? I just don't get it. I'm still panicking. I'm still like, I can't breathe. What's going on? And then I just heard it. So it was my nan's voice then came through, and my nan stepped forward from the other side and she said, everything's going to be okay. And I was like, what? Is this my imagination? I still do it. I'm a psychic medium. I've been working professionally for years, and I still do this human part being like, God, is this, you know, am I going crazy? And I sat there a little bit longer, and I heard my nan's voice, and she said, every little thing's going to be okay. And started then this tune in my head. It was the Bob Marley one, every little thing's going to be okay. And I could just hear it in my head. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I just kept on hearing and feeling, just listen to the song, listen to the words, be in the moment. And I sat there, I was in the moment. And then she said to me very clearly, be present. And then I forgot, okay, right. You know, I trained in mindfulness about bringing yourself back to the moment, and then I'd forgotten about it as the human part of me got so bogged down with everything that was going wrong in my life. So I sat there and I was like, okay, I'll be present. And then I started breathing and smelling. She said to me, smell the sheets. And I was like, what? I started smelling my sheets, and I could smell the fabric conditioner. And for me, there's little things in life. I started smelling the fabric conditioner on my sheets, and I was like, oh yeah, this smells really nice. And at that time, I didn't even realise I was taking this lovely deep breath, relaxing in and out, that ebb and flow, just like the seashore, in and out, backwards and forwards. And my breathing started to relax, and I was feeling a lot better. And then she said, just listen. And by that time, it was about 3:30 in the morning, and those damn birds, they were awake already, how dare they? And I could hear the birds outside through the window, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, that's quite nice, it's quite soothing, I like listening to the birds. And I started listening to the birds. And I could still feel her. And it got to one point where I was like, oh my God, I could feel her breath breathing onto the side of my skin. So I was just sitting there, and it was quite comforting. And then I was told, when was the last time you felt this? And I feel a bit tearful now as I say this, but when I was 5 years old and when I was a child, I used to go to my nan's house when there was difficult times at home. I used to go and stay at my nan's house, and sometimes I'd sleep in her bed with her. Now this woman had the most biggest boobs ever, and I remember as a child I used to snuggle my head into them because it felt like a squishy cushion, and it was quite comforting, and I could hear her heartbeat. She passed when I was 15 years old. It was like losing a mother for me. But I remember that night, this last week that's just gone, I had all these cushions around me, and then I started relaxing, I was in the upright position, and as I started becoming more relaxed and being in the present moment and being aware of the smell from the covers, being aware of that, hearing that tune in my head, every little thing's going to be okay, I started to relax. So physically I started to relax, my body started to relax, and then slowly I became aware that my head was finally on the cushions, on the pillows. And then as I lay there, I felt that I could smell her. I felt that she was around me, and then I felt I was snuggling into the cushions. When I woke up, it was a deep 1 hour of dreams, and she literally sent me all these messages in my dreams of what's going to happen and everything's going to be okay. And I could just feel it. The reason for sharing this is just literally just to remind you, and I'm a practitioner, I'm a therapist, I should know better, but it's the human part of me, that I just sharing this so that to remind you that when you find it difficult, when you're having those times, whether it's your breathing and panic attack or anxiety or however you're feeling, just ask for help, because she came through and she gave me the help I needed. And what I'm hearing very clearly from Spirit right now is that there are many out there at this time that might need that help, but all you got to do is just reach out, because Spirit can't come in, the divine can't come in, the universe, God, angels, whoever it is that you feel affinity to, they can't come in and step forward when your mind is so clogged up with worry and fear. And you will go through those stages. You are meant to go through those stages so that you find your strength when you come out of that. When you allow yourself to work through that, you'll come through and they'll step forward and guide you. But at the moment, there are going to be quite a few people that are going to have those moments where it's going to be that lull, and then they go through the anxiety. It might be like a roller coaster ride or whatever it is, those self-doubts, those self-limiting beliefs that you can't do something, but they just want to say they're your champions. When I woke up in the morning, I said it was about an hour, and she gave me all this insight. It didn't feel like dreams necessarily, but I knew I'd gone to sleep somehow, but there was all these things that she was showing me, what was to come. But I needed to be brave. I needed to be the human, that I had to physically take that step forward to step into what I want to come in the future. Now, I was sharing this with a friend very early in the morning, and what had happened was I put my phone on a shuffle of songs. And the first song that came out, it was The Great Showman, Dreams, and that song, I can't remember it right now, but there was that song that came out, and I was like, oh my God, it's about me moving forward into my dreams. Now listen, I thought, oh, that's just coincidence, I'm doing my makeup, there's just coincidence. I'd had that amazing experience during the evening, and I was still thinking, oh, it's just coincidence this song came up. Doing my makeup, and the next song came on. It was about Crazy, or something about Crazy for Loving You, or something came on. All these tunes, there was 6 tunes that came on, one after the other, and then finally I was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, Nan, are you there? And she gave me another song. I was like, okay, I got it, I surrender, I understand. What I'm trying to do and trying to share with you right now is there will be those times where you'll have change. There will be those difficult moments, but reach out to those like-minded friends that will hear you, that will hear your voice when you need to express and to say what's going on for you. I've had a lot of friends this week that have given me that support, and Spirit, of course, my spiritual team as well. But what they're saying is there's a transitional stage that's here at this moment. Many of you are going to step into that light. Many of you are going to step forward into your dreams or what you want and the change. And there is going to be unsettlement around you. There's going to be a lot of unsettlement. We've got this with governmental stuff going on as well, and I'm sure around the world, but I don't want to tune in too much to the map as it'll drag me into different things that are going on. And I might end up with somebody calling me from China or Russia. But there are many things going on around the world right now, many changes, governmental changes, many bodies. I've had quite a few people who work for the government who've spoken to me last week and looked at the forecast as we move forward. Real shuffle of people's jobs, changing, but it's not to be fearful. It's about we need this change, and that's why we've been born at this time. That is why your soul is here, to help you transition, to go through and to move forward. So any of those emotional blocks that's going on for you right now, anything that any of you are going through, just hold on in there. It makes you stronger afterwards. But when you're going through that bumpy ride, just be present, not to think, what if? And that's what led me down to that rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland. It was, what if this happens? What if I don't get that? What if I have no more clients? What if I don't have any money? What if this happens? What if that happens? And that led my brain down that pathway of thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I was lost down that rabbit hole for a short time. So what I'm hearing very clearly from Spirit, and I shall say it again, that it's a transitional, this is their word, transvisional time. I think that's two words together. Transitional time at this moment for many of you. And for any of you that are fearful, keep bringing yourself back to the moment. And if it means bringing yourself back to the moment from listening to a tune, then do that. But remember to breathe, it's so important.